Go. All right, what's up, guys? This is Brooks and Jared here to talk about the Cloud9 versus Clutch Gaming game from week 6. So, Jared, how about you take us away with the draft?
All right. So we start off with a pretty standard ban phase from C9 and Clutch. Cloud9 takes away the Galio and the Azir from Febivin. The Azir pick that Febivin has shown he is not someone to be trifled with on it, if you ask CLG. And then they also ban away the Gnar from Solo. Um, Clutch opting to ban the Zoe away from Jensen and the Gangplank away from Licorice and taking the Skarner away from Sven Skaren. But I thought that was a kind of a questionable ban because I honestly prefer Sven Skaren's Sejuani, which they opted to pick from what I've seen so far. Cloud9 also locks up the Braum and the Tristana. Solo gets the pick on Ornn. Solo gets to play Ornn, just a classic tank top that we see Solo finding success on. They take the Varus and the Morgana, as they were just talking about Hakuo having a lot of success on right before the game.
Yeah, on that what was that? Was it the alt stream?
Yeah, on the alt
Where
stream of Sneaky and Media, so they were
Freak was
talking about it.
talking
Yeah.
to Sneaky and Media. Yeah,
Um,
they're like he's like a skill shot god or
yeah, and
something.
I
Yeah,
do agree with Freak that that Hakuo is one of the players who's like kind
underrated
of gone
players.
under
Yeah,
the radar of like
I
underappreciated
agree.
supports in the league. Yeah. Um,
I agree.
but yeah, that's what I got for the first
I
half.
think it's hard to to look at him, and he's just a very solid
Yeah, I
player.
mean he's the guy
But
who started. He
we can,
started on like
yeah,
Renegades and like was on that
he's on
sinking
Renegades.
ship,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
matched up with Apollo, and they've been kind of a dynamic duo ever since then.
yeah. All right, well, we'll get into the second half of the pick ban. So C9 decided to ban out the Kha'Zix and the Zac. Obviously, Jungle hadn't been chosen from Clutch yet, so they decided to pinch it even farther. So obviously, we have now Skarner's out of the pool, Kha'Zix and Zac are fully out of the pool. And then Clutch decided to go with the Rise ban, pretty standard, and a ban on Alawi, which to me is a little strange. I don't really see much value in Alawi. She does a lot of damage, but she offers almost no CC. So if any CC, I don't even know if she has a slow in her kit. But so I'm a little bit skeptical about that Alawi pick. I also, if it would have been a counter pick, I'm not sure who they're trying to counter from C9 side, but I don't know. So C9 finished off their draft taking the Talia and the Kled. Super cool pick that they brought out the Kled. We've seen Licorice play this before this split, and he looked pretty damn good on it. So I'm really happy to see that they're willing to throw that Kled in for him again. And Clutch finished off their draft with an interesting jungle pick, the Lee Sin.
Haven't
Interesting.
seen him in a
If it
while.
was a if it was effective, another question. But the Lee Sin and the Corki for Febivin. So let's get into the game. Well, actually, let's look at the drafts in general. So um, I think C9 got almost everything that they could want. I mean, if they could have gotten the Gnar instead of the Kled, it would have been pretty much a perfect draft. But I think Licorice has a great Kled. Licorice I've found is not much of a tank guy, but more of like this bruiser guy. That bruisers that actually just build straight damage, but just get tanky. Like I don't know. I think he does really really well on those champions. In Clutch, the Lee Sin's the only thing that I'm just like, I don't know about that. It's just a weird pick.
Well,
And I mean, it is Lyra. He's a good jungler, but I don't know how effective he will be on it.
in
So,
to the Morgana pick, I understand that like it's a counter to the Braum, but you picked a double marksman comp. I'm not necessarily sure why you wouldn't want a Tarek in this situation. I think that could have possibly been a much better pick
yeah,
in the lane because like if you look at it, because if Tarek builds the Ardent Sensor, and as we discussed before, these AOE heals, or you can tag the Lee Sin going in with your ult, or you like they were I feel like they were just like so like not Apollo Hakuo could have made these flashy support plays with this Tarek that they kind of missed out
Yeah.
on in favor for this like pick style. Um,
Yeah, I'm actually not entirely sold on the idea that Morgana is a Braum pick. I play a lot of Braum. He's like my most played champion in League of Legends, like I think of all time. And like I mean, I've never found it to be that hard of a pick to play against. So I'm not entirely sold on this idea of Morgana being a Braum counter pick. But I'm also not a pro, so I don't know. I'm not a pro.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean, I'm
a
sure
professional
I'm
analyst,
sure there's
but
stuff that we're missing, but I mean, I
yeah,
think that
but it may be like a soft counter. It's not a hard counter, that's for sure. But let's get into the game. There's not a lot to talk about in this one. C9 was ahead for almost the entirety of the game. Um,
started off with a licorice double kill up top, and then it led to two
yeah,
more kills on the solo, and
yeah. Licorice really like was just kind of styling on solo
yeah,
today.
it was a pretty heavy mismatch.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you go from
And I
one
remember
extreme to
there.
the other of like last weekend with the Lucian.
Oh God,
It
yeah.
was just
Yeah, that was
disgusting to
bad.
this
That was
weekend
just bad.
where he kind of gets some. Oh yeah, licorice is pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah, Febvin couldn't really get going. Apollo finished with a positive score line, but again, couldn't really get going. Also, the Tristana is going to outscale the Varus,
hmm
once the game keeps going. The Varus, he's got to he has to have a good enough front line to where he can just stand there and auto attack. And Lee Sin's not going to offer that. And Solo was so behind on the Ornn that Apollo couldn't really do it. So obviously Sneaky is going to be able to just output way more damage coming from farther range, having crit, just overall being better. The roaming was also potentially better on the side of C9. You could make the case that Corki and Talia roam equally as well, but Talia can roam a lot more often than the Corki.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So the side lane pressure is infinitely stronger there. Uh, I don't know what else you got.
I just wanted to point out Svenskeren with that 0-1-10 score line. He
Yeah,
his one death kind of was like a brother Sven moment, and but old habits die hard.
yeah,
But I mean, other than that, he was in on 10 of those 12 kills. They just took two dragons, took 9 towers, a
yeah.
baron,
I
and that was all
mean,
they needed, and they just ended the game. Like
yeah.
it was pretty clean.
It was a sub 25-minute game from Cloud9. Really good showing for them. Also, really good for them this weekend because the day before they had just gotten completely destroyed by 100 Thieves. I'm gonna rub that one in your face just a little bit,
It's because I
Jared,
wasn't wearing
because
my jersey.
my team beat your team, so just gotta rub that one in a little bit. But yeah, it was good to see them really come back from a really hard loss, and show kind of that they were better than this team that was in third place. Because that's what it was. It was a second versus third place match, and they kind of proved themselves to be much better than the third place, kind of really solidifying themselves in the second place for C9. So it was a really good win. Um,
I agree with that as well. I was kind of concerned coming into this match, but after because they're the streak that they were going on, Fevivin still looks phenomenal.
yeah,
Um, but I do think that this win here, I'm pretty confident that this is going to cement C9 as number two.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Unless I mean, anything can happen. I don't know. It's just
Echo Fox
this
could
split.
lay
This
put
split's
down a fat
crazy,
L
dude.
to Golden Guardians next weekend.
Yeah, you never know what can happen. Man. I don't know. It's anything can happen in this split, and I don't think I'd be surprised. Like my fantasy draft now, I'm just like, got all these players. Good luck. Like I'm just like, we'll see who wins this week. But yeah, I don't have anything left on this game. If you're a huge C9 fan, go watch this one. If you're a Clutch Gaming fan, don't watch it because your team looked bad. But if you're a C9 fan, watch it because they got to slam Clutch. So it's a good game. That's
Yeah,
all I got.
that's all I got
All
too.
right. Thank you guys for watching.
See you.